Part 4. Number 2. Hieronymus is still not able to demonstrate a matching costume, even with expert assistance, as the Hieronymus crew continues to introduce new costumes to more closely approximate the Patterson creature. The more obvious it is that Hieronymus didn't have anything to do with it the first time either. Number 3. Hieronymus does not know anything about the route to get to the film site, as if he was never there. Number 4. His explanation for why he never asked for the $1,000 from Gimlin or Patterson doesn't make any sense. Many things in his confession make no sense. Number 5. When Hieronymus is asked why he's telling this story to the public 40 years later, he says, "It's my turn now," referring to the other parasite scammers who have made claims about the footage in previous years. Number 6. The comparative visuals clearly show that the Patterson creature has a different skeleton than Bob Hieronymus, or any human for that matter. See the comparative footage on the left. 3 contradictory versions of the Hieronymus confession. Version number 1, costume description. Hieronymus said, "Roger Patterson killed a red horse and made a costume from its heavy, stinking hide." Quotes from Bob Hieronymus in 2001. Roger skinned out a dead red horse. The costume stunk. It weighed maybe 20-25 pounds. It was a little bit heavy. Horsehide would be heavy. It was made of 3 parts. It had legs. It had a corset or middle piece between the neck and waist. And it had a head. Hieronymus' first story described his costume as a heavy costume made from the hide of a red horse. He says it stunk like a dead animal. Version number 2, costume description. Hieronymus subsequently agrees that the costume was a simple gorilla costume manufactured by Morris Costumes in North Carolina in the 1960s. In his second version of this confession, the fur of the creature was Dynel nylon threads stitched to a woven cloth backing, nothing like the hide of a dead red horse that he previously described. This dramatic modification of his original confession was prompted by a publicity-hungry costume maker in North Carolina named Philip Morris. Morris also wanted to take some credit for the PG film somehow, and possibly market a new costume. Although Morris has no records showing the sale of the costume to Roger Patterson, he is nevertheless certain that he provided the costume used in the famous footage. Morris claims that a man named Roger Patterson bought a discount gorilla costume. Somehow he remembers that sale, though there is no record of it. He also claims he recognized the gorilla costume when he saw the PG film on TV one day. How coincidental. Then there's a photo on the upper right that shows the costume Morris recognized from the PG film. The photo of the gorilla costume Hieronymus said was used. The man in the photo is costume maker Philip Morris. In this same photo, Morris appears as his Dr. Evil TV host character. The TV show was a horror film showcase which aired in the 1950s in the southern United States. Prior to his recent claims about the PG film, Morris got media attention for his demands for compensation from the producers of the Austin Powers film series. Morris claimed that Mike Myers' Dr. Evil character infringed on Morris's previously unregistered trademark for an obscure line of Dr. Evil costume products. Lawyers for the Austin Powers producers easily demonstrated that the 2 different Dr. Evil characters were developed independently and would not be confused by the public. Version number 3, costume description. Sometime after costume description number 2, Hieronymus and Morris came up with a new costume replica of the Patterson creature, which Morris said he could make more duplicates of for $7,000 to $8,000. The latest costume is a custom-made, latex-enhanced, non-stretching, quirky creation. It's a very far cry from what Hollywood special effects folks say would have been required, and nothing like the simple gorilla costume that Morris originally claimed was sold to Patterson in the 1960s, which Morris claimed he recognized on TV when he saw the PG film. The version number 3 costume is pictured on the right. It is held up by Morris and Hieronymus. The images on the right are from the last television story done about Bob Hieronymus on the local news channel in Yakima. At the height of the scam, television and newspaper reporters in Yakima ran with the Hieronymus confession story without paying much attention to the blatant graphic inconsistencies.